Hey y'all. So, I just got a new little toy with me. Just purchased a new device. And I'm here and I'm ready to try it out live on the show. So what I got, it's a bullshit translator, right? So you just type in the phrase or the word that people are using, and it comes up with the real definition of what that person is trying to say. It's pretty cool. I found a saying that I kind of wanted to, put through the system to test it out. So, all right, let's go here. So, we're trying it out live on air. The bullshit translator. Let's see how it works. So, I wanted to input the phrase imposter syndrome. So, let me do it right here. Imposter syndrome. Okay, waiting for it to load. Okay, real definition of imposter syndrome. You are not qualified for the position that you have, and you rightfully have feelings of inadequacy. Well, that was helpful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The World According to Kyle podcast. How you doing? Okay. You all right now? I'm good. So, if you want to get a hold of me, if you want to follow me, you can catch me on the following services. YouTube, Kyle Max. Twitter, Kyleverse. TikTok, Kyleverse. Instagram, KyleMax86. Reddit, TWA2K. If you have any questions for the show, topics you want me to cover, slide into my DMs and let me know. As far as the podcast goes, right now I am on YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. I'm working on getting more platforms to be hosted on. If you listen to podcasts on one of those platforms, then let me know which one it is so I can get on there. Because I just try to get on the main ones. And if there's because I figure they're the ones that most people use. If there are any that you specifically use, you specifically like, let me know. I'll get on it. And my releasing of podcasts is a little bit sporadic. I understand. It's been a little bit trying this year, but the easiest way to, or the best way, I should say, rather, to make sure I'm posting frequently is to like and share and spread the word about this, because, the more people that I get listening to this, then I make more money, and the more money I make, the more I am able to take this, quite really seriously as a job. So, the onus is on both of us. If you want to see more TWA2K, if you want me on a weekly basis, then show that you do. Share this shit, like this shit, and love this shit, All right, let's get into it. Get into the topics of the world according to Kyle, aka TWA2K. Now, I've been a little busy this summer. That's also part of the reasoning that I haven't been getting as much podcasts out. This pandemic shit really needs to stop, because, the off years that it's that it's when we have pandemic year, and then a year of like normalization. Like everybody wants to do something every weekend. Like I feel like I'm fucking booked every weekend. I look at my calendar. Oh, a birthday, and I look at this. Oh, I said this. Oh, I said yes to that. And it's really hard to shaft somebody when you're just getting out of a pandemic and you haven't seen each other in or not necessarily haven't seen each other, but you haven't all been together with a group and had like a party or a get together in a couple solid years. So you have to kind of the pandemic has really made me not take things for granted, and not take my friendships for granted, and to try and be there when I say I'm going to be there for other people. And now, one of those things that I just got back from and that I did was the Jack White concert. Man, that was a great show. And probably one of the best deals I could think of, where I saw it at Budweiser stage, and in Toronto, of course, and there's lawn seats. Now, Budweiser stage is an amphitheater, and so the sound kind of travels up. The stage where the artist performs is lower, and then there's like kind of an ascending hill. And so with Budweiser's, they have like the GA area, which is right in front of the stage. Then they got above that, they have a seating area, and then it's ascending, and then above that they have a lawn area, and the lawn area is like a second GA area where you can just kind of get your own seats and sit down on the lawn. But you're not really sitting down, you're standing up through the show because you want to see everything. It's a really great experience. And to see Jack White for I paid I think $55 for my ticket. That is a hell of a good deal. Now, there was one thing that irked some people about the concert. And initially I was irked about it a little bit too, but I kind of, by the end of the show, I kind of understood and appreciated the what I was initially put off by. Now, that would happen to be the so it is a phone-free show. So what they do is that they have these little bags or slips which your phone goes into and gets locked for the show. And it's a phone-free show. You're not allowed to use your phone. Now, there are areas of the venue which you are able to access your phone, but they're only in specific areas. I guess this is because he does not want recording of what's happening. I don't know whether it's because of maybe epileptic seizures. But I will say this. I will say that it really kind of benefited the experience. And now I'm the type of person where I love the experience of a concert. I love, you will see me if you follow me, you see that I do post concerts when I'm there, but it's usually just like I post a picture of me, or I post a picture of the sign that says Jack White, or I post like a 10-second clip of what's going on, because I don't want to be that guy that's on his phone. And, you know, I love the environment and the experience of going to see a concert. So now I realize that most people aren't like me, and that, you know, a lot of people will just stay with their heads down in their phone, or they just keep getting messages or checking and shit like that. But you know, so I felt like, you know, without that, it really kind of benefited the overall experience, and it felt more like a collective experience than a normal concert that wouldn't have had these. And you know what, I can tell, you know, that I have a little bit of PTSD from living in a small town. Like, people will break out their vapes or their joints, and there's all these cops and security guards around, and you know, I'm like fucking super paranoid about that sort of shit, because I used to live in a small town, and cops over there are like, you know, looking for anything to, you know, be able to pretend like they're doing good by ticketing you, or keeping up with their quotas, or you know, harassing fucking people who aren't harming anybody. And, you know, I have to say that Toronto definitely has the best police of any place that I've ever seen. They're super chill. They got bigger fish to fry than somebody who's just keeping to themselves and, you know, smoking a joint, you know, outside, because, you know, it is legal here. So I need to get over this kind of small town PTSD that I have with you know, joints and marijuana, because my friend came, and they just casually breaking out joints and passing them around, and I'm like, what are you doing? And, you know, it's just that's just something I'm gonna have to get over, because they didn't fucking care, and they're and they're right there. But yeah, what a great concert. I mean, Jack White really played a lot of deep cuts. Like, me and my friend who was at the show, we hang out on the weekends and have a few drinks sometimes, and you know, we like artists. Like, if we like an artist, we like them a lot, and we play a lot of like their lesser known songs. You know, and Jack White played some of those songs which, you know, the Jack White heads like, you know, like Hotel Yorba, Highball, Stepper, and me and my friend's favorite song of Jack White, The Black Bat Licorice. And when he when he played that, we were going absolutely nuts. Ugh. So, man, and Jack White, very underrated guitar player, I should say, was incredible on the guitar. And every single one of his songs, he, like, stretched out longer and just, like, you know, went free-flowing on the guitar for, like, an extra minute, which just fucking added so much, you know, so much coolness to the concert. And, you know, not many... I was saying to somebody who I was at a bar before the concert, and one of the bartenders, after I told him I was going to Jack White, he was just like, "Oh, that's the phone free show," and said it very, you know, disparagingly, as if like, you know, why would you go to a phone free show? And I told him, I'm just like, there's not many people I would be willing to lock my phone up in a little bag for the entirety of the concert. But Jack White is one of those people. And incredible show. You know what? And when it comes to music, I'm like one of these late to the bandwagon guys, and I recommend it. I recommend being late to bandwagons. Like, as much respect as I have for Anthony Fantano, I would hate being him. Like, I would hate having to listen to loads of crappy music all the time and kind of like rank in, you know, or come up with some sort of criticism of it. Like, you know, I always get onto a band after they've created their great stuff, not while they're creating their great stuff, because the true test of a truer test of greatness is a music's longevity and how people are gonna feel about it, you know, 10 to 20 years down the road. And so, you know, everybody will say this artist is great and that artist is great, but then you know, listen to them 5 years later and it's just kind of basic. So everybody likes something when it first comes out. It's like a generational thing, I think. Like, everybody wants to think their generation produces good music or the best music. So it's not necessarily like an objective analysis about a music that is good necessarily. It's just more like a you know, this is here and it's listenable, so I think it's great, so I'm gonna say it's great. It's very similar to the LeBron situation and the LeBron dilemma. Our generation sees LeBron and they're the only one that they see, and they don't watch basketball from the past or have a historical understanding of basketball, so they say he's the greatest player on the planet, and or he say this is the greatest ever, and it's just not true. So that's kind of my disposition, is everybody thinks something such hot shit. I like to wait. I like to be late to the bandwagon. You know, come at me when you've had 3 great albums. So, you know, it comes at the expense maybe of not seeing an artist while they're at their peak. But, you know, I love the fuck out of the artists that I do see. And you know, I don't feel really that bad about it. I think, like, it will prevent me from not wasting my life listening to a lot of crap. You know, and speaking of a lot of crap, everybody's complaining about cancel culture and, you know, getting deplatformed, and I want to share a strategy for you. I've developed a strategy for not getting deplatformed from every single major website on the internet. So, besides 4chan. So I want to share this strategy with you in hopes that maybe it will help some of you. So I have the strategy of just not being a piece of shit human being. And, you know, I'm going to see if that works out, you know, as opposed to Andrew Tate, where, you know, you just say whatever the fuck you want and complain about free speech after. You don't see that free speech is a two-way street. And just because it's like the same as going into a bar. You know, you're free to enter, you're free to pay the price, but if you're causing problems, you can be removed. So actually, it's freer than a bar, because a bar can just look at you and say, "Oh yeah, we're not," or "Yeah, too bad you're not getting in. You're not a smoking hot chick who's under 25, Leo." And so yeah, you're not getting. So it's even like regular life is even more discriminant than online life. And the freedom of speech is a two-way street, because a business if they don't like who you are, or you do shitty things and you say shitty things, then they have the right to not allow you on their platform because it is a detriment to their business and to more people using that platform. So how, if you're a piece of shit and you're saying misogynistic things and just being a gigantic fucking piece of crap, then I really don't get what the issue is. Like we have these alternatives. There are alternatives to Twitter. There are alternatives to YouTube. But the only problem is the reason why you're concerned about your free speech on them is because everybody else uses them. But everybody else is fucking upset with the shit you're saying, and so I really don't get where the disconnect is here. This isn't cancel culture. You're just operating at a detriment to the company. And this is how advertising works. This is why people get canceled from advertising. Because if you're a piece of shit, if you're a fucking misogynist, if you're a fucking discriminant asshole, if you're racist, then people don't want to listen to your shit and they will boycott companies. So this is freedom of speech working, but it's just working against you. So you think it's an assault against your First Amendment rights. Incorrect. Go on Truth Social. Go on these platforms. Go on these echo chamber platforms. Go on 4chan. You have the right to. What you don't have the right to is, constantly be a fucking piece of shit online. Freedom of speech. It is a two-way street, assholes. Now, I wanted to discuss kind of a personal situation and see if you guys feel the same way as I do about this. Now, I was a little pissed when it happened, and I want to see if you guys feel the same. So, I'm trying to think of a way to frame this. I do not like getting personal or sharing details about the person who I felt did me wrong or said something wrong or did something wrong. Like all right. So somebody who I know is close with me. They wanted me to move back home from where I live in Toronto, and they said something that really fucking rubbed me the wrong way, and I feel like it's necessary to share with you, just in terms of us kind of learning about others. Like I never want to get personal about a situation. I just want to kind of talk about it, and maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm justified in feeling the way I feel, but regardless, so I moved out to Toronto from somewhere else, and this person was wanted me to move back to my home where I'm from, and I think that and I talked to this person, and this person was saying that was trying to convince me to move back home, and they said, yeah, you could be making a lot more money over here, etc., etc. And then they said this. They said, I've seen your life, and your life isn't even that great there. And I've kind of developed a strong backbone. Like before in my life, I would have fucking, said something to this person, but and even my friend said, he's like, I'm surprised you didn't say anything. And I've just I've learned from being in a team leader position, from being in a position of leadership, not to go with your not necessarily not to go with your instinctual reaction. Sometimes you should, but you should at least kind of weigh it and not let your emotions dictate how you react to a situation. And I didn't, and just kind of had a ho-hum conversation until we finished it, and then just reflected on it a little bit, and man, that was a fucking garbage thing to say. Like, without getting into any details about the relationship that I have with this person, I don't think I would say that to anybody. If I just met someone, for the first day, and just said, "Hey, yeah, your life isn't even that great over there. What you're doing," or like, what the fuck do you know? I mean, and the thing that really rubbed me the wrong way about this is that I'm doing fine and I enjoy my life and I'm having a good time, and so it's kind of fucking, and this person doesn't really, contact me often enough. They don't, it's just kind of, every few months or something, they'll drop a line and talk for a bit. But, it's just kind of a self-serving thing where they want me there and, and not really caring about what I do or how I'm living. So, I think that's a piece of shit thing to say. So, I just wanted to vent about that. That's how do you say that to somebody? I couldn't picture myself really saying that to anybody under any circumstance. Like, who the fuck are you to judge, or you to tell me how my life is shit here? That's really stepping over the line. And speaking of stepping over the line, so the threats to the Boston hospital, their Boston Children's Hospital, over a trans kid's fake story, which they the right wing kind of drummed up this fake story about them giving treatment, them giving surgeries to kids, and they're saying these like half truths or false truths about what is actually happening, and it's really just I don't really think it's about anything besides severely nitpicking a marginalized demographic that, mind you, has done absolutely nothing in terms of horrific shit to anybody as a group. I mean, it's really disheartening. And while there's so much crappiness and so much political violence and justification for violence using politics that has never been done by trans people, it's really terrible that this shit is happening. Now, I do have like some issues with like the trans sports thing and how biological men can compete with females, but Like that's not as bad a problem as stochastic terrorism against a marginalized demographic that has done nothing. I mean, that has done nothing wrong. And why do I care? I care because this is the future of medicine is why I care. Trans people, I think, are pioneers. I think they are, they're willing to risk medical treatment when it's not necessary in order to help themselves feel better, like they're living a more authentic life, like their physical manifestation of their body matches how they feel as a person. And how is that not any different from a chick getting butt implants? Like, if you want to say that somebody is getting butchered or mutilated by a doctor, then what about a mastectomy? You think a woman who's had breast cancer and gotten a mastectomy, is she butchered? Is she mutilated? Should she just live with the cancer? No, you don't have a problem with that, because women are not a severely marginalized demographic that you can pick on. Like, I hardly meet any trans people. Like, I do not meet them. Like, at the fucking concert I was at, like, I mean, like, there was probably, like, I literally did not see a single trans person among, like, the tens of thousands of fucking people that were there. So, that's how little fucking, how little people fucking are responding to right-wing ideology now. Is that they have to resort to picking on like point one less than 0.1% of the population to make a point. And it's problematic for the culture of internet news also. I think that, the internet right now is providing a significantly worse version of the news. And it's a lot more problematic. The way a mainstream news organization will lie to you is not by way of straight up lying about the data, is that they will push narratives. And whether you think this is wrong or not, it's not anything compared to stirring up stochastic terrorism. I mean, and that's what we have with the internet. And it's just fucking sad. It's just very fucking sad. And, I used to think at a time that the internet would provide like some sort of better alternative to the news that was going on, to the mainstream media. But it's not. It's becoming something significantly worse. And that's not a fake news. That's not... The more fake news is coming from the internet. The more extremism is coming from the internet. The fact that advertisers will pull shit from the mainstream news is significantly better. It is guiding it. It's a better of two evils, let's just say. If people were reasonable and rational, and I thought at one time that the internet overall would be better for this, but it's proving to be a worse substitute for mainstream media. Now, while there are some things that in some places on the web that do news in a way better way that mainstream media does, They only do it because they're really dedicated to their craft, and they're not going to do things that get them banned. They're gonna stay within the lines, and they're not gonna be gigantic piece of shit. And this is just one of the many things that has disheartened me about the internet lately. While it is overall a good tool, I think we're kind of experiencing a rough patch. And one thing just caused me such a fucking visceral reaction that my tweet was in response to this was, the world deserves to be ruled by something greater than people. And so what it was a woman lost a bet to her husband or baby daddy or whoever the fuck he was. And the bet was that she had to wear a Chewbacca mask while she was giving birth. Yeah. That's one of those things that just, like, I give up all hope for our species. There's no way that we are intelligent enough to be an intergalactic species or even a borderline functioning civilization. If that doesn't make you see that, fuck, I don't know what will. All right, so moving right along. Now I got in a little bit of hot water over nothing, it seems. I have a little shade to throw at a situation where I feel like I've been wronged a little. Now, I got my account suspended from Twitter. Now, let me get into the situation first. Let me give a little description about what happened, and give you guys a full context about my suspension, and then perhaps you could arrive at your own conclusions of whether or not you feel like it was merited. So, I seen on my feed that there was a Twitter user called like Bolt Fan, obviously a Chargers fan, because he was saying some really stupid shit about his quarterback in comparison to Joe Burrow, who just made it to the Super Bowl in his second season as an NFL quarterback. So what he says is that he put out this tweet which started going around, and obviously it was a hot button thing because a lot of people, I'm deep into Bengals Twitter, and a lot of people responded to it. So he was responding to someone else who thought Burrow was better than Herbert. And now a lot of people are confusing some things, where a lot of people are looking at fantasy numbers and are purely looking at fantasy numbers and are trying to project whether or not somebody is a good quarterback based on how well they perform in fantasy, which is complete, let me borrow a Dark Brandon meme, malarkey. It is a malarkey assessment. Just because they're producing well in fantasy does not mean that they're good for a team to have. That a team ditching them will not benefit from their team. So let's just kind of contextually lay the groundwork for what's going on here, because I think that Joe Burrow has literally every single intangible you could possibly want in a quarterback. And people are saying, oh, Allen is better. Oh, Herbert is better. These fucking guys haven't made it to a goddamn Super Bowl. And Allen has had more years. Herbert has been in the same draft. So what this person said, the tweet that I replied to that I got banned for. So what this person said was somebody had said that, oh, you know, Burrow's better than Herbert. And what this person said to them was that you're just mad that Burrow will never be able to do what Herbert can do in the playoffs. And so I replied and said, what, choke? Because Herbert did choke in a situation where he could have beat the Raiders to get to the playoffs. So, what the fuck? Like, how is that even, like, so Twitter, I didn't even know I got suspended for this. So, I tweeted this, replied to him at, like, before I went to bed at, like, 9 p.m. at night. So, I wake up, go to log into Twitter, and find out that my account's suspended. Like, for what? And I've seen the tweet that I was suspended for. Like, and I'm just like, what? Choke? Like, and they cited that I was suspended for abuse and harassment. When clearly that was not abusive or harassing. It is clearly a choke is an easier way of saying that somebody did not perform adequately in a pressure situation. And because Twitter only allows you fucking certain amount of characters, how the fuck am I supposed to say that? So, here's a problem here, is that my account is still suspended. I tweeted this on Friday. It's fucking Sunday right now. So, here's a problem here, is that, I tweeted this actually Thursday night, and it's almost Sunday. We're fucking 4 hours away from, or 6 hours away from Sunday, 5.5 hours away from Sunday. And they still haven't fucking reviewed it properly. So, you know, you have algorithms detecting particular words and suspending people without review of the context. It's just straight up suspending people. How is that fair? It's fucking a little ridiculous. And like, and they said I can delete the tweet, but if I delete the tweet, I'm admitting that I do something wrong, and I'm going to have my account suspended for a certain period of time anyways for violating the fucking abuse and harassment policy, which I did not go against. A simple review of the situation would prove this. But here's my thing. If you do not have the manpower to adequately review the context of the situations that the algorithms are detecting, which is rightful to detect these sorts of things, then you shouldn't be suspending it. You should only be suspending it after you fucking completely reviewed the situation. Now, there was another situation where I just posted a clear joke, but I was understanding in the fact that it could be misconstrued as a harassing thing or as disparaging to the party involved, and for that I understood, even though it was kind of clearly a joke. But that I understood. This is not understandable. This is not appropriate. This is fucking overreaching. And you know what? While I'm not about to complain that fucking people who are hateful and spreading fucking spreading hateful ideologies are about to get banned or getting banned, this is just something that is overreaching fucking horseshit. Like a fucking 5-second review of this would simply show, like, why is it 3 days and I haven't fucking got anything back? Like, Twitter is what I use for news and what I rely on so that I can get news. So I'm not gonna fucking take my shit down. I will either A, create a new Twitter account, or B, get my shit reviewed and get my account reinstated. I'm not deleting a tweet for which that I did not do anything wrong, because that is admitting to doing something wrong, and it simply did not fall under the parameters of abuse and harassment. If you want to say you want to take out all violent language from Twitter, choke, then fucking have all characters. I would gladly bend over backwards to not say choke, even though that's completely fucking bullshit. As a way to describe not performing well in a high pressure situation, but it's just how do you do that without the characters? Like, Twitter has just gotten on a fucking power trip, and it's elitist bullshit because fucking the stupid fucking idiot congresswoman Marjorie fucking Taylor Greene. She posted a picture of Joe Biden with a Hitler mustache and comparing him to Hitler for his latest speech, and she didn't get fucking suspended. She didn't get fucking she didn't get booted off of Twitter for fucking 2 days while they reviewed her shit. You know why? Because she has a fucking blue check mark. So fuck you, Twitter, and get your shit together. If you can't have enough people to analyze the context of the situation, you should not be banning them until you've had someone to analyze the context of the situation. Because clearly, if you've seen someone compare someone to Hitler, that should be an immediate ban. But they have a blue check mark, so you're not going to do that. What a fucking elitist bullshit fucking platform Twitter is. And I'm not going to start using Truth Social. I'm not going to fucking use that. I'll just create another account and fucking get back on Twitter some other way. But one thing I'm not doing is deleting a tweet in which I did not do anything wrong. Now speaking of that Biden speech, and this is why Republicans are pissed off right now. The Dark Brandon thing. This is why his approval ratings are up. He's doing things that are pissing Republicans off. And America, I feel, has gone a lot more left. And this is why the policies that Americans want are not right wing. And Biden's approval ratings are up because he's not doing them. I mean, like, it's very simple. His approval ratings were low because he gave a shit about not pissing off Republicans. But then he's seeing that Republicans are going to nitpick the shit out of anything he does and are going to be very unfair in their criticism of him, and that it doesn't really matter. So then he kind of latched on to the Dark Brandon thing, and it's working, and people love him for it. And you know, his approval ratings are skyrocketing. So this is what Americans want. Americans want a break. And, you know, I'm getting a little sick of, like, there's an annoying disconnect between people telling our generation how they should feel about things like student debt forgiveness, like these fucking Ben Shapiro and Sean Hannity fucking types, you know, or other fucking boomer idiots. It's like you can complain about it, but I mean, if you're a fucking boomer and you fucking paid off your debt, you had a lot less bullshit to deal with. You had jobs that you had fruitful jobs that paid good salaries, and cost of living was way low. You paid fucking a reasonable price for a house. You paid reasonable prices for groceries. You paid reasonable prices for services. So you did not have the same struggles that we had to go through. And for a boomer fuck like Sean Hannity to come out and shit on people for or shit on Biden for giving out handouts to people in one of the fucking hardest generations that it is, and say, oh, it builds character. It's a character builder to fucking pay off your loan. Well, motherfucker, you didn't try to start off in a life where everything is more expensive, where you have no future for home ownership, where you can name a shit ton of things, where overpopulation is happening, where where we don't know what's gonna fucking happen with the planet and global warming, where shit is on the brink of hitting the fan because of the greed of a few fucking over the lives of many. Just one of these fucking idiot boomer things that is really grinding my gears lately. Is a little fucking disheartening, to see stuff like this, and I just want to kind of put out a alternate version of this. A lot of people don't have the. It's hard to come up with the tools intellectually to be able to combat this sort of horseshit nonsense that is spewed out by the right wing, and making you feel bad for growing up in a world that is overpopulated, in which it's harder to make a living, in which the cost of living is rising and is becoming significantly more expensive. Now, there was another thing that's related to Joe Rogan that I wanted to talk about also. We'll do this as a way to cap off the hour of power known as TWA2K. And now I want to couch this a little in saying that I did get a lot of good things from Joe Rogan, but it is particularly like advice related to fitness now and personal health. Now, what Joe Rogan or his followers don't seem to understand is that fitness and public health are two separate issues. Very separate issues. And he should look at his followers maybe because these are not peak specimen. I would say 95% of Joe Rogan's followers are doughy-ass crackers. Not to mention the fact that while he is very, dedicated to the idea of free speech and freedoms, he's living in a state where if he wasn't Joe Rogan, if Joe Rogan wasn't Joe Rogan, his ass would be getting arrested mad quick if he was just a regular guy in Texas doing the exact same shit he's doing, fucking doing recreational drugs inside of fucking decompression chambers and all this fucking bullshit in Texas. Like, aren't they fucking some of the most restrictive and repressive people? Like, didn't they arrest Fiona Apple for having a bag of weed across fucking state lines? And like, I rail on him a lot, but he's just popular. So it's, I mean, he says a lot of bullshit, and he speaks for a while. So obviously, you know, he has good health advice and he has good guests, but you know, he got paid, and now he's starting to pander to the right wing because he wants to pay less in taxes. So now he's just becoming a, you know, he's not really grounded in other people and average people's problems, where he used to be a lot more a lot more grounded. I felt like a lot of the criticisms of him before were overblown, but you know, excuse me. This is why you know, this is why I don't have heroes. And if you are not willing to if you are not willing and able to take a stand against someone if they do bad shit, then you shouldn't have them as an idol, or you shouldn't have them as a hero to begin with. That only shows your weakness of character and your inability to have a sense of identity without them. And speaking of character, another thing that fucking pisses me off about this guy is that every time there's some fucking retard online preaching fucking hateful bullshit, fucking you know, influencing stochastic terrorism, these motherfuckers who raided the Capitol building. Imagine spending fucking 10 years in prison because you listened to Donald Trump, because you thought Donald Trump was leading you to fucking the promised land. How fucking stupid are you? Holy shit. And yeah, the character thing. Joe Rogan comes and says, like, and defends Andrew Tate by saying, oh, well, he's playing a character. Well, fuck off with this stupid character bullshit. You're not pretending to be a character online. It's characters pretending to be a real person. There's a difference. You're not operating under a pseudonym. This isn't a performance. Right now, this is me being real, and that's exactly what all these motherfuckers are doing. I'm not pretending to be a character. Now, where they get it, where they are salty, is because, and they bring up Andrew Dice Clay a lot. Well, Andrew Dice Clay did a fucking good job of being a character. He went over the top, and it was obviously a performance, and he obviously had punchlines. Joe Rogan is going out, being Joe Rogan, and being himself, not pretending to be a character at all, and then defending other people who are not trying to be characters, who are saying hateful shit, who are influencing fucking stochastic terrorism, and giving them the ultimate out. Just say any fucking hateful shit online and I'm pretending to be a character. No, that's not how the internet works. This is not a performance. This is not something we drummed up and are comfortable where it is a performance. And maybe it is. Maybe you could show me someone who is clearly acting as somebody. They wouldn't use their fucking names. They wouldn't have. They would be like some sort of pseudonym and be obviously performing. But when you're trying to dictate social policy, when you're saying things that influence how people's real lives act, that's not being a character. So fuck off with this stupid they're being a character bullshit. Because that's just not true. Fucking Bill O'Reilly is not a character. He's a real person influencing real things that are happening. Okay? Let's have a fucking distinction of that. This is not a performance. It is a performance in the sense of how you are dictating, but it's not a performance in the sense where you if you're presenting news, if you're having comments about real life shit and trying to influence real life shit and people's opinions on reality that is not playing a character. You're playing yourself, and yourself is a fucking douchebag piece of shit. And that's why people don't like you, which is why you are getting banned, because advertisers don't like that. All this shit, man. Fucking, you know, and Aaron Rodgers on the program talking about homeopathy, lobotomy, phrenology, witchcraft, horoscope, religions, whatever. It's all the same shit. It's all superstitions. And superstitions have no say at all in any public health matter whatsoever. So, you know, and I liked Joe Rogan. I listened to his podcast a lot. I liked a lot of, well, not a lot, but I liked some of the guests that he had. But he's fallen off, and he's clearly ideological and going on an ideological bend because he's financially influenced by the things that he is promoting, and that is what you should understand. It seems pretty clear to me anyways, didn't he say he was a liberal, yet, he says vote Republican because, why? His life was minorly inconvenienced by health measures that were recommended by doctors, Such a crazy world we live in. I definitely didn't expect Joe Rogan to turn into fucking Alex Jones, but I was ready and prepared to. If somebody is a piece of shit and I like them, I feel like I have to almost go hard in the paint against them if I have promoted them before, because I've told my friends, oh yeah, hey, Joe Rogan podcast, yeah, listen to that, and then all of a sudden, he don't care if fucking diseases are being spread and people are dying, and because he can't go out and perform comedy shows, even though he got paid $100 million to fucking do it, and sitting there and shitting on Canada and say because we didn't want fucking people to die by the tens of thousands, where America had one of the loosest COVID policies that are possible, and I don't know how you can as a right winger possibly look at how things played out in America and hold your head high that was the correct moral thing to do, when the country of Taiwan, which has 2 million more people than the state of Florida, yet they had like 73,000 less COVID deaths in Florida. Okay, so where is the disconnect here? That seems like an objective measure of a country that gave a shit more about people dying from a fucking disease. And it does, for you to say, him to say, oh yeah, these are the healthiest people in the world. Well, they have the most resources in the world to be healthy. Now, do I think somebody who's fat and out of shape is useless to society and should die from a debilitating disease because that we don't know much about, that could evolve into something that kills more people? I don't think so. I think that promoting anything besides getting a shot and getting vaccinated against COVID is really fucking is really a really shitty thing to do, let's just say. And I think Joe Rogan is getting warranted criticism for promoting this horseshit. Now, maybe he, as an individual, based on the amount of resources he had, could avoid a lot of the things that normal people can't in order to live normally and do this. But he shouldn't be fucking promoting not getting vaccinated on his fucking on his program to fucking, tens of millions of people. And he did cause deaths. He did cause more deaths than necessary by going against fucking doctors. And doctors definitely are not the enemy. Doctors kind of just objectively are looking at situations and have the database of medical information that is necessary in order to objectively analyze the severity of the situation of the pandemic. Now, do I think that the pandemic, do I think lockdowns should continue? No. Do I think that the pandemic is severe enough to warrant fucking our entire lives and our entire economy over? No. But I didn't mind. We should have actually gone harder earlier with the pandemic, and then we probably wouldn't have had it stretch out longer, and we would have had more time to catch up on the vaccinations. But this whole horse shit about monoclonal antibodies, about ivermectin, about all these fucking kabuki fucking treatments for it, what you're not realizing is that average people cannot, A, vaccines are cheaper, and B, what if you're not vaccinated and you get COVID and you take ivermectin, that's not stopping the spread. If you're just an average person and you're not a super physically fit individual, which, not being super physically fit is well within your right. And you know what? I like it when a doctor or a lawyer is not super physically fit. If I see someone who's like a computer engineer and he's super physically jacked, I'm going to be like, wow, that's someone who doesn't spend enough time fucking on computer engineering. Like, these people are so pigeonholed inside of, what their version of being a productive person is, or what their version of somebody who contributes to society is, that they can't even see the good in other people. That, somebody fat, or somebody not even fat, somebody who's just not in peak physical condition is lesser of a human being. Well, you know what? That lawyer who's a fat fuck is concentrated on the massive amount of abstract data that you need to become a lawyer or health professional or something like that. If someone came up to me super jacked as a doctor, I would be fucking skeptical because that's not someone who's not spending enough time in the books, who's not fucking reading tons of fucking abstract data that you need to be a doctor. So, while I certainly would be willing to be convinced if otherwise, don't fucking trust people. And fucking homeopathy, all this shit, this has been disproven for a while. And you know what? It can work for some people, but this is a matter of public health. It is not a matter of personal health. There's a difference between the two. And half the shit that people do anyways for becoming like these super athlete shit, they're more genetically, they have a greater genetic disposition to becoming athletic, and B, a lot of the times they're doing fucking PEDs and all this bullshit, which comes to fuck them later in life when they can hardly walk or something, or they're fucking a flappy ass fucking skin going all over the place, or got tons of bone and joint issues back issues and shit because they went too hard when they were when they were young and could take it. But then, you know, what goes up must come down. And you know, for you to say that because someone isn't like a fucking jacked mongoloid, that they are that they're not as healthy as you. Well, you know, wait a bit. You know, I wouldn't consider somebody who's fucking loaded off fucking steroids or PEDs to be healthier than someone who isn't. You know. And all this while they rail against trans people, while they take testosterone replacement therapy and all this other bullshit. But it doesn't matter when we do it. It just matters that we can pick on a severely marginalized demographic that represents less than 0.1% of the total population. Anyways, that's it. Your hour of power has concluded. Ladies and gentlemen, that was The World According to Kyle podcast. Hope you all had a good one, and I'll see you next time.